This is the Sleep Historian. Each night we explore the echoes of the past, stories told slowly to calm the mind and ease you towards sleep. If you enjoy these quiet journeys through time, please like and subscribe, and let the next story begin. Night settles over the Bay of Naples. The air is cool, carrying a faint trace of salt from the sea. In the distance, a dark mountain rises, a broad, quiet silhouette against the stars. Its slopes are still, its presence steady. Below, scattered lights mark small settlements along the coastline. Imagine walking a narrow path near the water, sandals brushing pebbles. Waves roll in gentle rhythms, tapping softly against the shore. The world feels calm, unhurried. You turn toward the mountain once more, unaware that ages ago it shaped everything here. Silence holds the moment, patient and unbroken. Now let time drift backward, centuries before modern roads and harbors. The Bay of Naples remains, but its shoreline glows with torchlight instead of lamps. Fishing boats rest on sand. Farther inland lies a bustling town, Pompeii, resting at the foot of the mountain. Streets wind through a patchwork of homes, workshops, and marketplaces. The mountain, known as Vesuvius, stands close, yet unremarkable, thought to be dormant and harmless. People live their days in steady routines, unaware of what history will remember. The night carries a quiet promise, a glimpse into a city filled with life long before it fell still. Centuries earlier, Pompeii began as a small settlement influenced by Greek and Etruscan cultures. Positioned near fertile volcanic soil, the land offered good harvests. Farmers tended fields of grain and vegetables, guided by seasonal rhythms. The Sarno River flowed nearby, aiding transport and irrigation. Houses were simple, built from stone and timber. A shepherd guided a flock along a dirt path, tapping the ground lightly with a staff. Smoke rose from modest hearths at dusk. The young town grew slowly, shaped by geography rather than ambition. Nature provided resources. People responded with practical effort and quiet hope. Over time, Pompeii's location attracted settlers from different regions. Oscan-speaking peoples formed the core population, bringing their language and customs. Nearby Greek colonies influenced art, pottery, and trade. Markets sold imported ceramics alongside local goods. A merchant arranged amphorae filled with olive oil, adjusting each vessel carefully. The mix of cultures enriched daily life without conflict. Temples appeared, honoring gods from varied traditions. Streets, though dusty and uneven, connected modest neighborhoods. Pompeii was not yet grand, but it was becoming a crossroads, an evolving town shaped by exchange rather than conquest, gaining identity through steady interaction. As Rome expanded its influence across Italy, Pompeii came under Roman control in the 4th century BCE. At first, the change was gradual. Roman soldiers passed through on patrols, their armor glinting in sunlight. Latin inscriptions began appearing on public markers. Trade increased along Roman roads. A clerk wrote figures onto a wax tablet, noting shipments arriving from inland farms. Local leaders adapted to new administrative systems, balancing tradition with Roman law. Though still provincial, Pompeii gained access to broader markets and protection. The town, once isolated, now stood within a growing network, poised for further transformation. Roman citizenship arrived in stages, culminating after the social war in the early 1st century BCE. With citizenship came rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. Pompeii began adopting Roman architectural styles: columns, arches, paved streets. Builders worked under the warm sun, laying stone slabs to create smoother walkways. The town's forum developed into a civic center, hosting assemblies and legal proceedings. The pace of life quickened, guided by Roman governance. Residents participated in elections, choosing magistrates to oversee public affairs. The shift brought structure and pride, turning Pompeii from a modest settlement into an aspiring Roman municipality. Agriculture remained central. Fertile soil, enriched by ancient volcanic deposits, yielded abundant crops: grapes, olives, wheat, and figs. Vineyards stretched across rolling hills. Farmers pruned vines with careful hands, knowing each season affected future harvests. Wine became a valuable export, stored in tall amphorae sealed with resin. Olive presses turned fruit into oil, feeding both local demand and distant markets. The scent of crushed grapes drifted from rural estates. Pompeii's prosperity grew from this land: quiet labor, repetitive motions, and a relationship with soil that rewarded patience more than ambition. Trade expanded beyond agriculture. Craftspeople shaped pottery, metal tools, and textiles. Workshops lined narrow streets, their doors open to passing customers. In one, a blacksmith hammered a glowing iron bar, sparks flickering against stone walls. In another, a weaver worked at a loom, threads forming patterned cloth. Commerce took root, building an economy based not only on fields but on skill and craftsmanship. Caravans and ships carried goods to neighboring towns. Pompeii's reputation as a productive, industrious city spread. Growth came not from conquest, but from hands shaping material into necessity and art. Religion anchored community life. Temples honored deities such as Jupiter, Venus, and Apollo. Priests prepared offerings, lighting incense that curled into fragrant smoke. Festivals marked seasonal transitions, drawing crowds into public squares for processions and rituals. A woman placed a small terracotta figurine at an altar, pausing in silent reflection before stepping away. These acts blended seamlessly into daily routines. Faith offered comfort, guidance, and continuity. The mountain nearby stood as part of the landscape, neither revered nor feared, simply present. Pompeii's spiritual world felt stable, rooted in tradition and shared belief. By the 1st century BCE, Pompeii had grown into a thriving Roman town, with organized streets, public buildings, and bustling commerce. The population expanded, drawing people from rural areas and neighboring settlements. Homes ranged from simple dwellings to larger townhouses. Public spaces buzzed with activity. The Forum, once modest, evolved into a grand civic hub. The mountain, still quiet, watched over the city like a silent guardian. Life moved forward, steady and confident. Pompeii's identity solidified, not as a frontier outpost, but as a promising urban center within the Roman world, poised for further prosperity. Enter the Forum, Pompeii's heart. The rectangular plaza opens beneath bright sunlight, framed by colonnades and public buildings. Citizens gather here for business, legal matters, and news. A magistrate stands on a raised platform, consulting with advisors in calm voices. Vendors rearrange baskets of fruit near the edges, offering figs and apples to passers-by. The soundscape is gentle, footsteps on stone, low conversation, wind rustling through tunics. Statues honor prominent figures, their marble surfaces warmed by the sun. The forum represents order and civic pride, reflecting Pompeii's place within the broader Roman structure. To one side of the forum stands the basilica, a large hall used for legal proceedings and commercial negotiations. Its tall columns support a roof that filters light onto the stone floor below. Merchants discuss contracts in quiet tones, unrolling scrolls to review terms. A scribe dips a reed pen into ink, making precise marks on a wax tablet. The atmosphere is focused but calm. Justice here is procedural, rooted in Roman law. The basilica serves as a reminder that commerce and legality intertwine, shaping the city's rhythm and defining its structure. Nearby rises the Temple of Jupiter, commanding attention with its elevated position. Broad steps lead upward to a platform where worshippers gather. Columns frame the entrance, their surfaces weathered yet dignified. Offerings of flowers and coins lie near the altar. A priest adjusts the hem of his robe before lighting incense. Smoke lifts slowly into the air, dissolving beneath the open sky. The temple represents shared belief and public devotion. It anchors the city spiritually, offering a place where individuals seek guidance and express gratitude, reinforcing collective identity. Moving eastward, the Macellum, Pompeii's main market, comes into view. Its courtyard bustles with food vendors and shoppers. Tables display fish, bread, olives, and herbs. The scent of fresh produce mingles with the briny smell of seafood. A butcher wraps cuts of meat in cloth, handing them to a customer. Coins clink softly in exchange. The market reflects daily necessity, where nourishment is gathered through peaceful trade. It shows a city sustained not only by wealth, but by routine, providing a steady supply for households across all social classes. Beyond the market stands the Stabian Baths, one of several public bath complexes. Inside, visitors progress through rooms of varying temperature. Frigidarium, tepidarium, caldarium. Steam fills the air in the heated chamber, softening breath and easing muscles. A bather pours water from a bronze ladle onto heated stone, creating a subtle hiss. Conversations remain low, respectful. Bathing is a ritual of cleanliness, relaxation, and social interaction. It reflects Roman values of hygiene and community, offering respite from work and providing a shared space for reflection. In the southwest, the amphitheater dominates the landscape. Built around 70 BCE, it features oval seating carved into rising tiers. Spectators gather here for games and competitions. The arena floor lies quiet now, covered in sand. A lone worker rakes the surface, smoothing it in preparation for an event. Though spectacles can be intense, the structure itself evokes architecture and organization. Stone arches, stairways, entrances designed for orderly movement. The amphitheater symbolizes public entertainment as part of civic life, woven into the city's identity without overshadowing its daily routines. Close by, the Palestra offers space for athletic training. Its open courtyard is surrounded by colonnades, providing shade for spectators. Young men practice wrestling techniques, their movements deliberate and controlled. A coach observes, giving calm instructions. The air carries the scent of earth and sweat. Physical exercise is seen as preparation for civic duty and personal discipline. The palestra reinforces values of strength, skill, and health, complementing the intellectual and commercial life found elsewhere in the city. It contributes another layer to Pompeii's multifaceted character. Residential districts spread outward from the civic center. Streets are lined with houses ranging from modest workshops to luxurious villas. Stone walls, painted in warm colors, frame entrances. Wooden doors creak gently in the breeze. Inside these homes, courtyards open to the sky, allowing light and air to circulate. Families gather here to eat, socialize, and tend plants. Domestic spaces provide refuge from the bustling city, grounding daily life in quiet familiarity. Pompeii's grandeur rests not only in public architecture, but in the intimate comfort of its homes. Enter the House of the Faun, one of Pompeii's grandest residences. A wide entrance leads to an atrium with a central pool reflecting light from the opening above. In the center stands a bronze statue of a dancing faun, poised in mid-motion. Mosaic floors depict intricate scenes, each tile placed with precision. Rooms extend around the courtyard, offering space for dining, study, and leisure. Wealth here is expressed through craftsmanship rather than ostentation. A servant wipes dust from a mosaic edge, hands moving gently. The home reflects refinement, culture, and quiet luxury. Next, visit the Villa of the Mysteries, located near the city's outskirts. Its frescoed rooms display vivid colors, reds, greens, and ochres, portraying figures engaged in ritual scenes. Scholars believe these paintings depict initiation ceremonies, though their exact meaning remains debated. The villa's peristyle garden allows sunlight to filter through columns onto gravel paths. Leaves rustle softly as a breeze passes. A caretaker prunes a vine, focusing on each precise cut. The villa blends art, ritual, and nature, creating a space where daily life and spiritual contemplation coexisted peacefully. In smaller homes, simplicity prevails. A modest workshop dwelling houses both family and craft. The front room displays tools, chisels, hammers, saws. Behind it, a narrow staircase leads to living quarters. A pot simmers over a charcoal brazier, filling the air with the scent of herbs. A child plays with a carved wooden toy on the floor, dragging it in slow circles. The walls are adorned with simple frescoes, geometric patterns, and floral designs. These homes reflect resilience, practicality, and warmth. Prosperity varies, but dignity remains constant across social tiers. Artisans shape Pompeii's identity. In a painter's studio, jars of pigment line a wooden shelf: red ochre, yellow, black carbon. The painter dips a brush into color, applying deliberate strokes to a wall fresco. His hand moves steadily, creating delicate shading. Assistants grind minerals to replenish pigments. Art enhances both public and private spaces, turning stone and plaster into visual stories. These images capture myths, landscapes, and daily scenes, preserving culture through imagery. The workshop hums with quiet industry, showing how creativity supports and beautifies the city. Bakers contribute to daily sustenance. In a bakery near a busy intersection, mills powered by donkeys grind grain into flour. A baker kneads dough, folding it repeatedly before shaping loaves. The oven's heat radiates outward, warming the room. Finished bread rests on wooden racks, its crust crisp and fragrant. A customer arrives, exchanging coins for a loaf wrapped in cloth. Bread forms the foundation of meals for rich and poor alike. The bakery's steady rhythm mirrors the city's heartbeat, predictable, essential, and comforting. Fullers clean and treat woolen garments. In their workshop, large basins contain water mixed with cleaning agents. Workers stomp fabrics underfoot, agitating them to remove dirt and oils. Steam rises from the warm liquid. After rinsing, garments are stretched on frames to dry. The process is laborious but necessary, supporting the textile economy. A worker adjusts the tension of a garment on a rack, ensuring even drying. Fullers occupy a critical role in Pompeii's industry, maintaining clothing quality and contributing to trade networks. Wine production thrives in rural estates surrounding Pompeii. Grapes are harvested in late summer, carried in baskets to pressing rooms. Workers crush grapes underfoot or with wooden presses, extracting juice that flows into clay jars. Fermentation transforms the juice into wine, stored in amphorae sealed with pitch. A vintner inspects a jar, tapping its side to check for cracks. Wine is exported across the region, enhancing Pompeii's reputation. The industry reflects collaboration between land, labor, and expertise, adding another layer to the city's prosperity. Teachers offer instruction in reading, writing, and arithmetic. In a small room near the forum, students sit on stools, holding wax tablets. A teacher demonstrates how to form letters using a stylus. The students follow, some confidently, others hesitating. Education fosters civic participation and literacy. Though not universal, it provides pathways for advancement. A student smooths the wax surface with a flat tool, preparing to write again. Learning unfolds quietly, reinforcing values of discipline and curiosity that support the city's intellectual life. Morning in Pompeii begins with sunlight filtering through open atriums. Residents sweep thresholds, pushing dust into tidy piles. Vendors set up stalls, arranging goods with practiced motions. The streets gradually fill with foot traffic, shoppers, workers, children. A woman balances a basket of vegetables on her hip, walking steadily along the stone pavement. The air holds the scent of fresh bread and citrus. Pigeons flutter from rooftop to rooftop. Life unfolds predictably, guided by familiar rituals. The city thrives on repetition, each day resembling the last in gentle continuity. Lunch offers a pause in the day's activity. Thermopolia, small food shops, serve warm dishes to those without kitchens. Customers stand at counters embedded with clay jars containing stew, vegetables, and grains. A shopkeeper ladles food into simple bowls, handing them to patrons. A man eats slowly, leaning against a doorway, savoring the flavors. Conversations remain light: news, weather, trade. Meals provide nourishment and social connection. These modest establishments highlight Pompeii's adaptability, catering to busy workers and travelers who rely on convenient, affordable food. Afternoons bring leisure to public spaces. Some residents stroll along colonnaded streets, enjoying shade and conversation. Others sit on stone benches, observing passers-by. In a quiet corner of the forum, an elderly man reads from a scroll, lips moving silently. A child watches pigeons peck at crumbs near the pavement. The atmosphere is calm, unhurried. Leisure reinforces community bonds, offering moments of rest amid work. Pompeii balances productivity with relaxation, creating harmony in daily life. Homes fill with gentle activity. A mother teaches her child to thread beads onto a cord, guiding small fingers. In another room, a father repairs a cracked bowl using resin. Sunlight enters through high windows, illuminating dust motes drifting slowly. Domestic tasks provide comfort and purpose. These simple gestures, mending, teaching, organizing, sustain the household. The routines anchor families, maintaining stability throughout the changing seasons. Everyday moments underscore the city's reliance on steady, human-scale effort. Evenings invite social gatherings. Taverns near the amphitheater fill with quiet conversation. Patrons sip wine from terracotta cups, sharing stories of trade, harvests, and family. Laughter rises occasionally, but never disrupts the calm atmosphere. A server wipes a wooden table, smoothing its surface with a damp cloth. Lanterns cast warm light across the room. These interactions foster camaraderie, connecting individuals across social lines. The tavern embodies Pompeii's communal spirit, a place where relationships are strengthened through shared time. Music and entertainment enrich nightly routines. In a small courtyard, musicians play lyres and flutes, their melodies drifting into the streets. Neighbors gather to listen, nodding gently to the rhythm. A dancer performs slow, graceful movements, her feet tracing patterns on the stone floor. The performance reflects cultural continuity, preserving traditions through art. Music softens the transition from day to night, creating a serene ambience that mirrors the city's peaceful order. Families prepare for rest. Children wash hands and faces at basins, splashing cool water. Beds made of wood and rope support straw-filled mattresses. A mother tucks a blanket around a sleeping child, smoothing the fabric with a gentle touch. Lamps are extinguished one by one, leaving courtyards in shadow. The city quiets gradually, footsteps fading, voices diminishing. Night brings restoration and calm. Sleep anchors the rhythm of life, preparing residents for another day of familiar routines. The mountain looms nearby, dark and silent. Few give it thought. To most, it is simply part of the landscape, a steady presence providing fertile soil and scenic backdrop. Farmers and travelers pass along its slopes without concern. The stillness appears eternal, unchanging. Stars shimmer above its peak. The calm night envelops the city and countryside alike. Pompeii sleeps under the watch of a mountain that is not stirred within living memory. The silence suggests permanence, reinforcing the belief that tomorrow will mirror today. In late August of 79 CE, subtle signs begin. Small tremors ripple through the ground, brief, gentle vibrations barely noticed. A cup shivers on a table before settling. A dog lifts its head, ears twitching. Residents shrug off the disturbance, recalling past quakes that caused no harm. The mountain remains quiet, its slopes unchanged. Life continues as usual. The tremors feel like a natural footnote, not a warning. Markets open, workshops resume, and the forum fills with routine activity. The city breathes in steady rhythms, unaware that these faint signals mark the beginning of a profound shift. A few days later, tremors return, slightly stronger. Plaster cracks along a wall in a modest home. A woman pauses, tracing the fissure with her fingertip. Neighbors discuss the quakes in hushed tones, but no alarm spreads. Earthquakes are familiar in this region. Residents have learned to accept them. The mountain offers no visual change, no smoke, no sound. The sky remains clear. Confidence persists, anchored in memory and experience. Work continues. Farmers harvest grapes. Merchants tally accounts. The tremors fade again, leaving only curiosity, soon overshadowed by daily responsibilities. On the morning of August 24th, the day begins calmly. The sun rises over the bay, casting warm light on tile roofs. Residents sweep doorsteps, visit markets, and prepare meals. The mountain stands in quiet silhouette. A baker loads dough into his oven, adjusting coals with practiced motions. A child chases a bird along a courtyard wall. The city hums with familiar energy. Nothing suggests imminent change. The routines feel secure, reinforced by countless peaceful mornings. Pompeii moves forward, unaware that history is about to shift in a single decisive moment. Shortly after midday, a deep rumble emerges from the mountain. It begins softly like distant thunder, then grows. The ground trembles. Birds scatter into the sky. People pause, turning instinctively toward Vesuvius. A column of dark ash rises from the summit, expanding upward in a towering plume. The sight is unfamiliar, unsettling. Yet the eruption is distant, and many believe the danger will remain confined to the mountain. Conversations fill the streets, concerned but calm. The city does not panic. No one imagines how far-reaching the event will become. The plume thickens, climbing higher into the clear sky. Ash begins to drift down in fine gray particles, settling on rooftops and streets. A shopkeeper brushes his arm, watching the light dust collect on his sleeve. The air takes on a faint sulfuric scent. Some residents head indoors, closing shutters to keep ash out. Others remain outside, observing the spectacle with uneasy curiosity. The mountain continues to send debris skyward, forming a vast column shaped like a pine tree, wide at the top, narrow at the base. The city remains intact. Time feels suspended, as if waiting for clarity. As afternoon progresses, ashfall intensifies. Streets grow coated in gray layers, soft beneath sandals. Lamps are lit earlier than usual as sunlight dims. A family gathers belongings in silence, considering whether to leave. Animals become restless, tugging at ropes and pacing enclosures. The air thickens. Breathing feels slightly labored. The mountain's plume spreads, casting a shadow over the bay. Yet the city holds on to calm. People comfort one another with practical words, trusting the event will pass. The world has shifted subtly but decisively toward uncertainty. Evening approaches and the ash continues to fall. Roofs creak under accumulating weight. Small stones, pumice, begin to rain down, tapping against tiles and streets. Residents cover their heads with cloth or shields. Some start to evacuate, moving toward the coast. Others stay, believing home offers safety. The city is dim, lit by scattered lanterns. The mountain's roar grows louder, though still distant. The rhythm of life converts into quiet endurance. Pompeii holds its breath, suspended between familiarity and the unknown. Night descends. The falling pumice deepens, forming thick layers that make walking difficult. Doors strain under the pressure. Lava does not reach Pompeii. Instead, the hazard comes from above: ash, stone, and invisible gases. Some seek shelter in basements, others flee along darkened roads. Torches flicker in the wind. The mountain continues its relentless eruption. The city, once vibrant, grows muffled and still. By dawn, Pompeii lies buried under meters of volcanic material. Sounds fade, movement ceases, time seems to pause. The city becomes silent, frozen beneath ash. In the aftermath, the landscape transforms. Ash blankets rooftops, plazas, and vineyards, smoothing the terrain into soft curves. The mountain's peak emits residual smoke, but the eruption subsides. Nearby towns respond first, focusing on their own recovery. Pompeii remains buried, its residents gone, its streets inaccessible. The region shifts attention to rebuilding elsewhere. The city fades from daily awareness, becoming part of a changed horizon. Nature begins reclaiming the land. Seeds settle in ash. Rain carves shallow channels. The once lively town rests beneath layers of silence. Years pass, then decades. Vegetation takes hold on the hardened ash. Travelers pass nearby, unaware of the city concealed below their feet. The memory of Pompeii persists only in scattered references, gradually diminishing. Life in the region reorganizes around surviving settlements. The buried city remains intact, protected by its covering. Structures do not crumble. Frescoes remain vivid. Tools sit where they were last placed. Pompeii becomes a sealed moment in time, preserved by the very force that ended its life. The city waits quietly, hidden beneath the earth. Centuries roll forward. Medieval farmers till fields above the buried ruins, oblivious to the city below. Earthquakes shake the region periodically, shifting layers but leaving Pompeii largely undisturbed. Artifacts remain in place. Streets retain their layout. The city's silence endures. The mountain, though occasionally active, does not reveal what lies beneath. Pompeii becomes a dormant memory, unmentioned in most chronicles. Time moves on without it, leaving the city untouched by change, frozen in the final moment before life ceased. In the 16th century, workers digging channels for water systems uncover fragments, inscriptions, walls, artifacts. Curiosity grows, but the finds are not fully understood. They are noted, admired, and left behind. The buried city remains mostly hidden. Interest flickers, then fades. The ground keeps its secrets. The world shifts into new eras: Renaissance, exploration, invention, while Pompeii waits, sealed beneath ash. The city's preservation remains unrecognized. Its story remains paused, its details undisturbed, its final day captured in stillness. In 1748, systematic excavations begin under the Kingdom of Naples. Workers uncover frescoes, mosaics, and household items, astonished by their condition. Word spreads through scholarly circles. Archaeologists approach the site with care, documenting discoveries. Rooms appear as if recently abandoned, tables set, tools arranged, possessions left mid-use. The city's sudden preservation becomes clear. Pompeii emerges not as legend, but as a snapshot of ancient life. The excavation reveals details unavailable in written records, offering unique insight into Roman daily existence. Over time, streets, houses, and public buildings are exposed. Researchers walk along stone pavements worn by ancient feet. Graffiti on walls reveals personal messages, jokes, prayers, advertisements. Tools and cookware lie where they were last touched. Bodies, once encased in ash, leave voids that are cast in plaster, capturing final postures. These forms evoke quiet reflection. The city's humanity becomes tangible. Pompeii is no longer an abstract past. It is a preserved moment, revealing ordinary lives interrupted. The discovery deepens understanding and compassion. In the modern era, Pompeii becomes a site of study, preservation, and visitation. Scholars analyze artifacts to reconstruct diet, clothing, architecture, and social structure. Visitors walk through excavated streets, guided by pathways and signage. Footsteps echo against ancient walls. The air carries traces of history, dust, stone, and the faint scent of earth warmed by sun. The city offers insight into resilience and fragility. It stands as a reminder of the impermanence of daily life and the power of natural forces. Pompeii's silence speaks volumes. Today, Pompeii endures as a testament to memory. The ruins remain under open sky, framed by the distant mountain. Grass grows between stones. Frescoes retain faded colors. The amphitheater sits in calm stillness. Visitors pause in reflective silence, absorbing the weight of preserved time. The city, once buried, now shares its story with the world. Pompeii remains frozen in its final moments, captured by ash, revealed by curiosity, and honored by research. It invites contemplation of life's continuity and the gentle passage of time. Let your thoughts drift through Pompeii's arc. Humble beginnings, thriving streets, daily routines, and the quiet signs that preceded stillness. Remember the markets, workshops, homes, and public spaces that shaped its rhythm. Recall the mountain's long silence and the day time paused. Imagine the city resting beneath ash, untouched for centuries. These images blend softly, forming a calm, continuous memory, an echo of footsteps, voices, and routines preserved in quiet detail. Pompeii's story reflects both vitality and stillness, reminding us that every moment holds meaning. Return now to your own space. The room around you is steady and safe. The past settles gently in your mind, fading like ash carried by wind. Your breathing slows, finding a comfortable rhythm. The mountain, the city, the frozen moment, all drift into calm distance. You are here, grounded in the present, surrounded by quiet. Let rest come naturally, like night settling over a peaceful landscape. The world softens, the day eases. Sleep approaches, slow, gentle and unhurried.